Steve Beckow, a lot of readers have taken up my invitation, which I made just once on the blog, to purchase Vietnamese currency. So now we have a large group of people who probably are listening to this broadcast and hoping you'll say something about the progress of the global currency reset. So could we start with that, please? Archangel Michael, well, first of all I commend you for all stepping forward in faith, trust, and in the knowing in what for some of you is a very complicated action and what in truth is a very simple action of creation and trust, and it is in that action that you are also contributing to the shift in your world and to the creation of the new world. So let us first begin with that. You say, I have done this in active trust, but, Lord, I would really like to know, where is my money? That is really the heart of this question, is it not? Steve Beckow, yes, Lord, it is. Archangel Michael, well, as you well know, the company of heaven and certainly my sister Gabrielle is a banker of sorts, but not the kind you are seeking. There are many forms of abundance that come from us. And we certainly are instrumental in helping humanity in the shift to move along. But I am pleased to answer your question. And my answer to your question is not significantly different than what I and others have said before. And that is that it is already underway. It is already moving forward. Now have there been some glitches in terms of, not the bureaucracy. And let me also say that you have been very good in sending the energies to those frontline and middle manager groups in terms of helping to infuse them confidence, energy, stamina, faith, to help them and assist them in the unfoldment of their jobs. So they have been feeling much better of late in terms of their tasks at hand. So that is not one of the glitches that we are speaking of. Now you have not done as well. And this is very true of the Lightholder, Loveholder community anyway. But you have not done as successfully, shall we say, the task of letting go of not only your own concerns, but also the collective concerns with regard to doubt, fear, the belief in lack, poverty and greed. So we would all ask you to continue to work on those belief systems, and the release, complete erasure of those belief systems, and embracing at the same time the replacement, which is the confidence and the knowing that not only are you powerful creators of abundance, but that you live, you thrive, and you welcome an abundant, equitable universe. Now one of the factors that comes into play when you are undertaking such a massive reorganization, and let us be clear, this is a reorganization not only of the financial systems, the global financial systems, the power structures of your planet in terms of haves and have-nots, but also the elimination and restructuring of mindsets as well. And for nation-states, of which there are many involved. It is not simply Vietnam in this situation. But the nation-states affected by this shift have need to feel that they are in a place of security. Now let us go back. Most of these nation-states, in fact the power structure, and I am not simply talking about Illuminati or Cabal or dark forces. I am talking about the substructure and the structure or your nation-states and of your societies, a given and until very recently when Gaia has shifted, an acceptable given was the belief and therefore the very protracted and grounded reality of greed, of control, of entitlement. We could go on. So what this restructuring, the reset of currencies, think of it that way because of course many of you are emotionally and spiritually invested in this undertaking. But what you are really invested in is the reorganization, the reset, of the global value systems that are based on the knowing of Gaia's wealth and abundance, the wealth of your star brothers and sisters, accessibility, allowance, the ability to receive. The concept of lack is simply absurd, so you are resetting the entire mindset of these nation-states. And might we say particularly to those people who have been in positions of power and who have seen in various scenarios how all these issues are coming to the forefront for healing and elimination. And I know I go on, but this is important for you to truly understand. So, when there are situations such as Syria, that bring to the forefront issues of war, mayhem, deadly force, intrigue, lies, what happens is those nations that would be affected by the reset of currency but had reached a place of feeling safe and secure, that their interests were protected adequately in order for this to go forward, become nervous. Markets become nervous and those in positions of control become nervous. Now, those leading the movement to create these changes have not become nervous. They have not reneged. They have not stopped the process, but they have taken into consideration some of the nervousness, the antsiness, the tensions that have been in the air. But has the process stopped? No. So I know that this has been a very long-winded answer to a very simple question. What I have said has opened up a plethora of questions. Has it not? Well, yes and no. I really would like listeners to understand, to get that what Archangel Michael just said was my first question on my paper, which I didn't need to read out to him. You frequently do answer questions that are in my mind, Lord, but I don't think listeners realize that. So thank you. You have just answered my first question, which was, could you describe the global operation of something like the global currency reset, and you have done a wonderful job of doing it. Thank you. Later, Archangel Michael, so, what the company of heaven does, is akin to laying out the banquet table, knowing it will be a delightful feast, and that everything is prepared. Now can we make you eat? No. But usually, not always, the inspiration and the vision, the unfoldment that has been planted within is so beautiful and so clear that it is almost like a compulsion on the part of the individual, or at first in some situations the group, to proceed in a certain direction. Again later. Steve Beckow, undoubtedly some people as a result of the show may go out and buy Vietnamese currency. Or even dinar. I recommend Vietnamese dong. If they do, perhaps you could give them some counsel so that they don't find themselves, by a process of unconsciousness of mind, in a deficit later on. I have heard this happen. I have heard of people who don't know how to handle this. Archangel Michael, let us address the issues of currency and wealth. This is the practice of prudence. Now we know that prudence is not one of the more popular divine qualities, and yet, my friends, it is perhaps one of the most essential. First of all, do not overextend yourself. First and foremost, we do not counsel that anyone, for example, not buy food or keep a roof over their head so that they can invest in currency. No. That is not the way, because that is not taking care of and honoring yourself and your family. It is also a desperate need. It comes from a place of neediness and a belief that ultimately, unless you do X, you will not be taken care of, that ultimately you are not worthy, and you do not live in an abundant universe. So first of all, do not go on a buying spree. That has never and will never be our guidance. Secondly, if you participate in this, the whole idea is the reset of values, of grace, of charity. There is so much more joy in sharing. No one is intended to be a miser in their house with the doors locked and the windows closed, counting their gold. There is no joy in that. So the joy is in the sharing, with your friends, with your family. First and foremost, attend to yourself and your friends' and family's needs. And I am not speaking of being overly cautious, because the whole idea is the knowing that you can create, that you are part and participating in creation. So take care of yourself. Pay off all debt. Make sure it's gone. Not because there will not be debt adjustments, but because we do not want you, any of you, having that stress. It weighs on your shoulders. It weighs on your heart. Pay off the debt. Make sure there is no such thing as mortgage. Make sure you have the roof over your head that you desire. Take a trip. Play. Gather. Build. Come together as community. These are the things we wish to see. And there will be small projects like fixing the roof of your elderly neighbor. And there will be larger projects that you will participate in, like feeding the community in Africa and making sure that their infrastructure is reconstructed. So it is both. Mainly enjoy it. It is a gift